Yeah. Uh-huh. You know what it is. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. It was there the whole time, folks. It was always going to be the song by Wiz Khalifa. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Swaggle Hoss. And in this one, we got ourselves some big news coming out of CGC this morning, officially announcing the JSA Authenticated autograph label. This beautiful black and yellow. Not quite the full signature yellow label that we are all used to, and that many people had concerns that we were going to be getting them reusing it for the JSA authentication program. But it turns out that we're not going to change the full color. You know, we're not going orange or brown or cyan or whatever, but we are getting something a little bit different. And so in this video, I want to go through the new label with you guys, talk about the services and fees tiers that they've actually released, and also inform you that it looks like JSA is going to be grading the autograph itself. My, that's going to lead to some interesting situations on the secondary market. But of course, before I get into the video, if you guys could like, comment, subscribe, I appreciate it. Help support the channel doing those things. But let us get into this video here today. Now, here you guys see the side-by-side on CGC Comics website. This is their label breakdown. They have just added this. We are early, folks. We are so early, they don't even have a press report yet, but they do have enough to show you the label. CGC and JSA Authenticate Autograph Label, black and yellow. The CGC JSA label is given to autographed collectibles that have been signed by someone of significance to the collectible, and the autograph has been authenticated by JSA experts using the world's largest autograph exemplar database and state-of-the-art technology. The CGC JSA label applies to unwitnessed signatures, while the CGC Signature Series label applies to witness signatures. So there you have it, folks. We don't need to explain it any more than that. You guys already know the difference. And I gotta say, this label looks pretty darn good. I mean, the black strip on top of the yellow, black and yellow, I mean, it's nice. It's nice. And without going, too far into it, but, off the top, I gotta imagine that while there is a slight difference here between the two, and while, I'm sure there's going to be a few collectors out there that do, prefer a witness label compared to an authenticated label. I mean, I don't know, guys. I feel like collectors are just going to buy the book. If they want the book, they're going to want the book. And I don't really see, a price differential holding out between the two slabs over the long term. I mean, maybe initially when this comes out, there might be a bit of a preference, but I mean, let's be honest. Do you think that like dealers or sellers are really going to make a point, to the people that are buying these slabs? Or like, do you think collectors are really going to be, so privy to ask the difference? Like, hey, what's the difference between the yellow top versus the black top? They might, and some people might actually care, but it's not like a seller is going to downplay the authenticated one, right? Some person's going to go like, hey, what's the difference between the yellow strip and the black strip? And then the dealer's going to be like, oh, one is a witness and one is not witness, but honestly, they're both the same. And then the collector will go, oh, okay, and they'll just buy it, and they won't really think twice about the differences of the books in the slab. It's really only going to be the collectors who are the most hardcore that are going to care about this. And frankly, over time, I think that, people won't really mind the difference. Now, before I hop over to the CGC services and fees, I mean, can we take a little moment here? I mean, CGC, were you guys trolling with this right here? I mean, the example book you guys put on this label is Amazing Spider-Man #1, Hustle Sketch Edition, the Spotlight variant with Eminem on it. That has to be a troll. You guys are funny. You guys are funny over there. Very, very funny. All right, let's go in here to the CGC services and fees. This is a new tab that they have added here. Typically, guys, you go over to the services and fees and you have the grading here. Then you have signature series, you got pressing, and you can see this new tab, CGC and JSA autos. And they have 3 sections right now that we can break down. So the first one here, JSA autograph authentication, unlimited value, and $25. I imagine that that's a $25 fee on top of the already, whatever fee you're paying for the grading, whether it be, $24 for a modern book and $37 for a vintage, et cetera, et cetera. Current workaround times have not been updated here. It'll be interesting to see what that ends up being. Like, how long is JSA going to add to the process of, getting your book graded. I mean, even just the mail time alone, I don't know if JSA works out of Florida or is going to work out of the CGC building, but I imagine if they're transporting your books from one company to the other to have to go through this process, I mean, on top of all the, authentication process itself, it's going to add a significant amount of time to that whole thing. I mean, even impressing here will add an extra, 15 days, maybe 10 if you get the fast track service. So I would imagine that there's going to be something similar here where this process will probably add another 2 weeks to your grading turnaround time. And then maybe there's going to be a, pay for fast track situation. Now, the other interesting thing right here, which is maybe the thing that's the most spicy, if you guys want to call it that, or maybe if you are familiar with JSA, you could have assumed that this was going to come, but JSA autograph grading, 2 autographs maximum. This is also $25. I'm a little bit confused if the grading includes the authentication or if this is like something you have to do together, or you pay 25 plus 25. But either way, they're going to be offering the grading of the actual autograph. That definitely changes things up a bunch. Now, if you guys don't know, JSA actually will grade the quality of the signature. And if you guys are signature, fans out there, I mean, you guys know this. There are definitely signatures that are better than others. I pulled up a vintage Magic card right here that is actually in a Beckett label. And while I do believe that the card number is represented here, where it's a Beckett 10 autograph, you can see right there, JSA cert, this is actually a 9 mint, meaning the signature itself is a 9. Or perhaps I'm reading this wrong. Maybe the 9 is the grade and it's a Beckett 10 autograph card. Either way, you now have 2 grades on the slab itself. One of it is going to be for the card and one of it is going to be for the signature itself. So going back to this label, it doesn't actually show us where this is going to happen, but the fact that there's an actual tier right here talking about them grading the quality of the signature, I do have to imagine that, we're going to get the 9.8 grade for the book, and then somewhere on this label, eventually we'll be seeing, the actual grade of the signature itself. And I have to imagine that's going to have, impact in the secondary market. I've had a lot of conversations, people talking about Stan Lee's signatures. I mean, how many times have you guys heard it where Stan Lee back in the day used to do like a much better signature than what he used to do towards the end of his life? And people will actually throw out those types of comments like, oh, what a great Stan Lee signature. Oh, you got one of the good ones on that book. And so I actually do think that this kind of might play a little bit into, collector secondary market situations where if you have a, FF48 signed by Stan Lee, but it's got a 10-0, for the Stan Lee signature, I mean, why wouldn't someone want to pay more for that versus the Stan Lee signature one that has an 8-0 on it? I mean, that was already going to be the case, right? Because people are already, judging the aesthetics of all the books that they buy anyways. But the fact that there's going to be a grade with it is going to make it, even more supercharged, even easier to see which one, quote unquote, is better. And I do think that that's going to play a part in the market. And actually, I do also wonder if that means that people are now going to prefer the JSA label over the Witness label, because if you think about it, the Witness label will never actually have the grade of the signature itself. So maybe there's going to be people out there that actually love the fact that there's 2 grades on it, one for the book and one for the signature. So very, very interesting with that kind of breakdown. Let me know what you guys think about that, how you think that that's going to play a role into, the secondary market situation. Do you guys like the idea of JSA grading the signature itself? I mean, I suppose that this was already a very, very big thing in the card world that JSA was already doing. So maybe a lot of you people who also collect cards were kind of expecting this or used to that idea. Now, the last tier to talk about here is JSA autograph grade pre-screen. An autograph grade will be assigned only if it meets or exceeds your specified minimum autograph grade. So you could do a pre-screen for the autograph grading as well. Tier fee is $9 per reject, I suppose is what this is here. And also, just to point it out, I'm sure you guys already saw just from the screen, all of these tiers are for unlimited value. So it doesn't matter if you're sending in, an Action 1 or you're sending in a Spider-Boy #1, you're paying $25 for the authentication of the signature and $25 for the grade of the auto itself. So there you guys have it. CGC JSA label has come out. Let me just go over to CGC's Instagram. I mean, we are so early right here. They haven't even released their press report for this one. But there you have it. The new label officially added to their website, officially leaked. It'll be interesting to see if we get sort of any press release later on. Maybe there will be some FAQs that kind of add clarity to some of the things that are happening with this merger. But overall, I mean, I guess this is pretty exciting, right? I mean, there's a lot of people out there that I think are going to be using this program. There's a lot of people out there that I know are excited about it. I wasn't able to do, any kind of market report to, see how many CBCS Jack Kirby books were picked up once JSA and CGC announced their merger. I have to imagine that there's a lot of people that are going to be resubmitting those Jack Kirby signatures into CGC with this new process. It's not quite clear if this thing is active yet, even though it has been updated to their website. I mean, maybe you can actually start the submission process for this. Again, I'm sure that we will be getting some kind of press release later to where, they'll do all of those kinds of announcements. But, I think, again, overall, I think this is a good thing. It's going to add, some options to people out there who enjoy signature books. I'm sure it's also going to add, a bit of controversy here and there. I mean, if JSA messes up, an autograph or someone is able to forge something and get it by, I'm sure that that's going to be a big old can of worms. But until then, here you have it. Signature series, yellow label, CGC, JSA label, yellow and black. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys like the aesthetic? Are you guys excited about this JSA program? Will you be sending in your books for grading? Will you be grading your autographs? Let me know in the comments. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. See you on the next one.